Hey, what's up, folks? We're going to do some game design today for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition 2024. Give me a second here to check my signal, see if we're coming through. I'll do a quick intro here and we'll get to work. It's about 9:30 a.m. here in Seattle. Here's a quick mic check. 9:30 a.m. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Let's drop that volume down so it doesn't get in the way for a little bit, and we'll mess around with it as we need to. Is it? Got it. There we go. Cool. Grab that, and we'll switch gears over to here. And bloop. I'm gonna hit the social media buttons real fast. Bloop, blop, bloop, glop, glop. All right, cool. So yeah, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And I've been creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since around 2018. I've been a DM in various editions of Dungeons & Dragons since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. And I'm really excited about the new release of the the Dungeon Master's Guide 2024 with the Bastion system that they've included with it. I'm not specifically excited about the Bastions so much that they're introducing that as a core element of the game, which has been missing from the game. They detached it from the game system in 3rd edition with the Stronghold Builder's Guide, which made leadership was a feat option to gain followers if you wanted that in your game. And then they had the Stronghold Builder's Guide to be able to start reintroducing the idea of Dominion into the game. It was a core element in the BX 1st and 2nd edition versions of the game, where when your character gained a certain level of power, you would start acquiring land or a fortress, a bastion, if you would, and followers would just naturally show up because the goal of the game was to take a war game, take a couple heroes out of the army, have them perform a specific mission that would help advance the cause of the war game that you're playing. Then it got into dungeon delving and fighting monsters, and so the natural evolution was to go from a first level nobody into somebody that people wanted to follow, and you became a leader, forge your own kingdom, have your own armies, impact the world, have agency in your fantasy world, which is escapism in the extreme and really satisfying gameplay. So seeing that Bastions are being reintroduced into the zeitgeist of what the 5e ecology is exciting to me. We've been, hold on, let me fix my screen here real quick so we can get back to the quick of today. Just to summarize things, hey, here on YouTube, like, subscribe, bell icon, blah blah blah. Here is a stack of books I've already published on DMsGuild. They're all free preview. Read them. If you think they're cool, consider buying them, please. And here is the playtest document that we are currently building with the Bastion campaigns. This is the same as the document that I've been editing. Bastion campaigns, there you go. So you are welcome to read along. It's a read-only, look, don't touch document that we'll be publishing on the DMsGuild when it's done. And like everything else that I publish on the DMsGuild down here, again, it's all free previews. So you can see the document now in its rough alpha stage. If you want to use this to run your own Bastion campaigns, you're more than welcome to. Give me any feedback. Be welcome to drop by my Discord channel. Here's my Discord community. Here is my Patreon if you want to support me that way, and my Twitter account if you're on the X Twitter platform. I'm at Phil Kearney. So when we last left our heroes, we were diving through the player's handbook gear. We completed all of the equipment, weapons, armor, stuff, vehicles, blah, that is in the player's handbook, and we've divided it into which facilities would reasonably be assumed to be able to create those items if you have the necessary materials. And we divided up everything into what materials would typically be used to create those things. Like if you want to make an arrow, chances are you're going to be using plant and minerals like stone or metal tips with a light wooden shaft. Or bamboo. You could potentially have an all-metal shaft if you wanted to, but this is just generally, so we have the 3 resources of animals, minerals, and plants. That if you have those in your facility, we don't want to break down. We don't want to get to a level of economy where we're checking to see if we have enough goose feathers to be able to make a pillow. You know, that's a level of that's a level of commerce you do not need in your D&D game. Hold on real quick. So we're simplifying it to, do you have generally the type of material that you need, animal, mineral, or plant? And if you don't, you can create a settlement to harvest it yourself, which would be like a goose, like a goose ranch, or an iron mine, you know, whatever. And then all the facilities assumedly all the things that you need to do to refine that material into into something you can produce other items with. It's assumed all that refining is happening on site of the settlement where the resource is being harvested in the first place. Harvested and processed for use. So those are the two elements that you have. And then, of course, we also have the rarity level, which is common are up to 100 gold pieces, uncommon up to 400 gold pieces, rare up to 4,000 gold pieces, very rare up to 40,000 gold pieces, and then legendary up to 200,000 gold pieces. And then artifacts beyond that, you just simply can't be created or purchased. So those are your 5 tiers, 5 ranks of Bastion. As your characters progress through their proficiency bonuses, they all coincide with each other. So it all stays parallel with each other. We've gotten through, at this point, as I said, all the mundane, non-magical items in the player's handbook and the DMG, including like all the different types of poisons and siege weapons as well. So we're now at the point where we are looking at magic items specifically. So I know that when we had built out, we were looking at the 29 different facilities that are included in the DMG, which are listed here. We'll be making reference of this table today as we look at different options. As it stands right now, this chart doesn't make it easy to digest, so we reorganized the chart sloppily. Of course, it's alpha draft model, but here we're defining the items that are defaulted to be available through the facility according to the listing in the DMG. So, for instance, arcane studies you can empower, which is to turn a mundane item into a magic item. You can empower anything that's an arcane focus. So the arcane study has arcane focus. Let me drop down here to the magical items. Magical item themes equals Arcana magic items. So anything that's an Arcana that's at the arcane study, and let's see, armaments. So the armory can create armaments. Armaments, Arcana, implements, relics. Thank you. Going back to our table. Poisons, antitoxins, perfumes, healer's kit, healing potions, poison, guild hall, laboratory, meditation chamber, menagerie, reliquary. You can make material components in the reliquary. There we go. Relic magic items in the sacristy. Thank you. Sacristy. And is it the armaments in the smithy? Implement magic items in the workshop. So the workshop does a lot of lifting in this system, as does the armory. And Yeah, and yeah, okay, great. So that's good. So these are and those are the only 4, according to this, the 29 facilities that are provided in the Bastion system of the DMG. Only these 4 facilities are actually equipped to be able to create magic items. So you need to have these facilities in your Bastion. So let's see. Okay, so now we have a slew of other things that are specific. Like armaments is all of the armory is all of armaments. Armory, smithy. I think smithy makes sense here as well. Smithy and workshop. So what we're doing is instead of the theme of magic item, we're taking each individual magic item and looking at how we can break that up across multiple facilities, so that like for example, potions in greenhouses, laboratories, sacristy, and garden. That gives us a wide array of options to narrate how we create potions in our Bastion without being bound. Like potions specifically isn't being listed among these 4 types of magic items, though. A limited number, like 2 or 3 types of potions, can be created in a greenhouse according to the content in the DMG, but it's not just potions in general. So once we parse out all these facilities, we'll start looking at how they get divided up amongst each other. Thinking things through. At this exact moment, what I want to do is look at how many things have the maintain task associated with it, and I don't think there's really anything that does. So let's see. Yeah, because maintain is just a generic order. It isn't associated with any facilities specifically at all. So. All right, I'm just trying to. I know that I'm going to get to a point where we're going to look at how are we accessing, like how are we investing or like deciding. Do I have a garden or a greenhouse or a laboratory or a sacristy? Do I need all 4 of these things? Do I only need 1 of these things? The rank step progress is that. Just space and numbers on a sheet. So these are things we're going to have to end up building the narrative around the mechanics. So I'm just thinking that stuff through. So potion of healing. Let's yeah, okay, great. So I think 2 things that I want to do real quick is let's go to the arcane study and let's look at the list of Arcana tables. There we go. Go back to here. So here's our Arcana tables. What I currently want to do is look for potions. Potion of comprehension. And there's the perfume of influence or whatever. So we'll call that a potion. Tankard of sobriety. Yeah, sure, we'll call that. It's a beverage, right? Is there any other? It's such a, there's an oil of slipperiness, filter of love, potion. Okay, cool. So all these potions are sitting inside the, is this just, yeah, uncommon. There we go. Yeah, most potions sit inside the uncommon space. Rare, and then past Arcana. It's the armaments table. And then the implements. Ear horn of hearing. Copy. It's here on the implements common list, and it's also on the relics list. That's interesting. I don't want to. Oh boy, what a bear. I don't want to stick my hand in that mouth. So I'm going to back away slowly from these lists. I trust them. They can. Yeah, you have that facility. You can make things from this list. That's fine. Just a double check here. Yeah, it doesn't make mention of whether it requires attunement or not, which would have been really useful. Dismiss that. Let's go back to the front sheet here. Game rules, magic items. There we go. How do we divide these up? Has charges, yes, no. Effect type, weapon type, armor type, conditions, attached spells. Interesting. Requires attunement, yes, no. Armor, so let's make sure we have everything. Armor, potions, rings, rods, scrolls, staff, wand, weapons, and wondrous items. Cool. Okay, cool. Got all that stacked up. Potion of healing. That's a very specific subset. Holy water. Let's see. Yeah, we're just going to start going through the list of bastions, and if it looks like it makes sense that it would. Let's get back to the front of our list. There we go. So it seems like it would make sense that it would be possible to create that magic item with that facility. We'll add it, and then we'll trim it down later on. So we add, then trim. So, potions in general, we have in the garden, greenhouse, laboratory, and sacristy. Potions of healing specifically. Could we in sanctuary? No, sanctuary is more like a grove. It's not like a chemistry shop. So that doesn't make sense. So potion of healing specifically. I'm going to, potions of healing is just potions, so that'll work. Holy water specifically, though, let's go with sacristy. For rings, let's see, how would we make rings? You could make a ring in a smithy, workshop for sure. Arcane study, that I don't feel like you could make a ring in an arcane. Well, you have the ring already. Now let's separate the two. Are we making a ring, or are we empowering a ring with magic? You can make the two at the same time. So if you can make it somewhere, you can implement it. You can empower it there as well. Like if I can make a ring in a smithy shop, I can also do the magic at the same time at that location. So that is appropriate that we would have that holy water in a sacristy. I would also say in a sanctuary. Makes sense that we'd be able to empower holy water. That's sanctuary. And is there anything else along the list here? How about meditation chamber? Why not? We haven't used that for anything yet. Possibly a reliquary. Reliquary, sacristy, sanctuary. There, a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, timely timer, keeping time. So for the ring, again, we're looking at a smithy, a workshop, arcane study, Yeah, that makes sense. I want to drop my volume here. I can hear myself, and I don't like it. I mean, I like hearing myself, of course. But it gets a little distracting. Hopefully that'll fix it. Let's see. Smithy, Workshop, Arcane Study, Reliquary, Sacristy. Sanctuary. Sure. A rod? I'd say, yeah, that's also a smithy. I guess that's just like a ditto. So let's ditto that real quick here. Now, this will probably end up being too broad, so we can tighten it up. Arcane, Study, Library, Archive. What else you got? Arcane Study, Library, Sanctuary. Sacristy. Archive, good. Let's drop Meditation Chamber from the mix. Reliquary. Anything else? It's not Sanctuary, it's Sanctum. That'll save us some space in the long run. Sanctum. Good. And was that it for scrolls? Sanctum? Yeah. Staff. Sanctum. Is it going to be the same list of shit for the staff? Not the library, not the archives. Cool, it'll be a shorter list, but let's grab these real quick here, drop them down. Get rid of the archive and the library. Keep the study, sanctum, sacristy, and reliquary. That's good. Wand, same setup, same list. Weapons, we go back to smithy, workshop, relic, armory, right. A reliquary, perhaps. Let's reliquary is like everywhere, man. Like it is the manufacturing facility for magic items for sure. At least that's what we're evolving it into. And I'm pretty cool with that. Yeah, like reliquary, all it does is empower. I kind of like that idea. Wondrous items. Smithy workshop. Yeah, let's just go with the full array. Okay. Oh, that was easy. Armor, arcane study, workshop, sacristy. Whew, dilly. Okay. We have a pretty dazzling array of stuff now. Arcane study. Let's push the smithy and the workshop to the back of the bus. Almost there. Stay on target. Let's see. Okay, so we have those broken down now. Let's go back to this list here. Archive. What are we doing with the archive? It's for research and making some stuff. Okay. All right, what do we need? What do we need specific orders for? Crafting items. Non-magical items, creating magical items equals empower. Gathering materials is harvest. Bastion lifestyle equals maintain. Gathering info is research. Oops. Let's see. Hire. Gather hirelings equals recruit. And gather materials is trade. There you go. That's what these things do. So, and then let's take a let's see. Let's take a moment here. So, craft plus material plus resource facility. Equals D20 test. Creating magical items is empower plus item plus facility equals D20 test. Gather materials via harvest. Harvest plus settlement plus equals D20 test. So the harvest action, the harvest order, add a settlement. Plus materials. Bastion lifestyle is maintain D20 test or spend gold. Gather hirelings is recruit action. plus NPC or creature equals D20 test. One second. Thinking things. I'm just looking at this. Just making sure I'm just scanning this to make sure I'm not missing a component that requires the check. Like for the Bastion lifestyle, it's just the act of maintaining, like producing a service or a product, like a goods of some sort. That you can export from the Bastion, maintains the Bastion itself and makes the entire operation just work. Narrated at whatever level of efficiency, thus providing a lifestyle equal to the result of your die from 10 to 30. Let's see. Gather hirelings is recruiting. So it's a recruit. The recruit order plus a target NPC or creature, and that's going to set the DC of the D20 test for you to have them on board. I think, okay, so gathering information is research plus facility. Do I need anything other than just the facility? Like I need something in which to gather a means of gathering information, while recruiting doesn't require a specific facility to be able to recruit people. So that's the actual action itself doesn't require a facility, though we can have facilities that grant us benefits and boons for recruiting people, but the order itself of recruiting people does not require a facility. Maintaining a lifestyle for your Bastion doesn't require a specific type of facility, while harvesting does require the settlement facility. Crafting magic items does require a facility in which to craft the item in. And then crafting non-magical items obviously also requires a place to craft those things in, unless they're small enough for you to be able to make with an artisan, with artisan tools, which you can carry with you on an adventure. And that is a very, very short list of things that you can make, because those are things that you can just make on the go, things that you can just do while you're taking long rest, or like while you're on watch, or just on the road. You can make these things there. So otherwise you need a facility to actually be able to craft the items that require more space and permanent features and tools to be able to create, like an anvil, for instance. Kind of hard to carry an anvil around with you. A kiln, kind of hard to carry a kiln around with you for glass blowing. So those are facility dependent crafting. So that's the differentiate. That's why there's such a short list of things that you can make with your artisan tools while you're on the road. So you have to have the facility that has the resource, that has all the material that you can use to research with. Yeah, and you don't need anything other. Yeah, D20 test. Like you can't, like you have to have a target creature that you're recruiting. I think you have to have one on hand. Yeah, that makes sense. So then gather material is trade plus material Plus, yeah, we need a facility to store the material that we've traded. Eagles D20 test. Now, do we require a specific facility to be able to trade, like the storehouse? Like, if we're bringing materials in, we have to have that. That makes sense that we would require a storehouse. So I like that. The settlement makes sense. Settlement facility, storehouse facility, various facilities here. We're not doing anything with the war room right now. We're not doing anything with the trophy room right now. So, like, we don't need the specific tools of war to commission making specific items now, because we already have the base rules of crafting by rank and quantity, value of materials created, determined by the rarity. So, like, you can make 100 swords in a week if your facility is capable of producing 1,000 gold pieces worth of material by rarity. So that rarity also scales up volume for non-magical items. Magic items always require one order per item, but you can mass produce just non-magical stuff equal to its gold value, basically per week based on the facility. So then that begs the question: if we're going to be able to produce like 200,000 gold pieces worth of swords, which is 20,000 swords if you have a 5th rank smithy facility, how large of a facility do you need to be able to create 20,000 swords? God, that's insane. Good question. So we need to take a look at size. So let's go look at the facilities to see how it structures the size. I'm not interested in Sims building, making your building. Make your building whatever the hell you want. I don't care about that. That's fine. But what I do want to pay attention to is what we're talking about with minimum area. So the amount of space of a bastion. So vast is considered 36 squares of space. So let's go to our chart here. Bastion. Let's just grab a pen real quick. Hey, what's up? Hey, Uchi, how you doing, my guy? What the fuck am I doing? You don't know about the Bastion stuff that I've been doing. We've got the Bastion campaigns. If you want to read along with us, it's a read-only document down here. The playtest document, Bastion campaigns. We're converting the 2024 Bastion into ability checks. The gist of it is, if you want to do something with your Bastion, you make an ability check. If you pass the ability check, you do the thing that you wanted to. If you fail the check, you can't complete it until you resolve a complication. So this is episode 13. So yeah, you can read along with the whole document with us. But 2 episodes back, we spent the time fleshing out the different die rolls, the 7 different ability checks or D20 tests that you make with your Bastion. And if you fail, like if you're trying to empower a magic item and you can't hit the DC that you need to do so, you can't complete the magic item until you resolve whatever this complication is. And that becomes your character's quest. Or you can invest, additional resources to have your Bastion try to take care of it for you because you're on the road. But in the style of a Bastion campaign, is the entire campaign is episodic on a weekly basis. Every week you update your Bastion with the orders that they're performing, and you do your die rolls to see if you're progressing or accomplishing the orders that you gave to your Bastion. Every time your Bastion fails a die roll, it racks up a complication. Your characters choose which complication they want to personally deal with and resolve, and the adventure resolves the complication so that the Bastion can complete the task. Anything else that's a complication that your characters don't resolve, it gets relegated to the Bastion to try to resolve itself. If I have if I'm trying to like enchant a ring, right? One ring to rule them all. Well, if Sauron fucked up the die roll, say I rolled a 6. So in this instance, my Bastion doesn't have the necessary exotic materials needed to empower the ring. So as a trade order, I can establish a new supply chain of resources so that I can actually complete the ring. I now have the requisite materials. But if I want to make a quest out of it, it becomes like you don't have the griffin's wing or whatever it is that you need to make the thing work. So your characters then go on a quest to retrieve that item, and when they come back with it, it continues to progress and complete. Every time, if it takes more than a week to complete a task, you can resolve it with a single die roll. And like say it takes a season for you to make a legendary magic item. You make the die roll at the front end of the order, so you know if it's going to pass or not. If it passes after that season, you now have your magic item. If it failed, you know right away that at some point during that season you need to resolve this complication to complete the task. There you go. So does your Bastion have stats when you create it? The Bastion, yeah, it uses the ability check system that I use from the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration for commanding troops or commanding siege weapons and fleets of ships. And that there's 5 ranks of Bastion. They roughly correspond with your character's level at different proficiency levels. And then you use your proficiency die. So the Bastion makes an ability check, as in like I am requisiting my Bastion to create full plate armor for me. Okay, boss, we'll be able to have that done for you in a week. So the Bastion then makes an ability check, and the bonus is D20 plus your rank, which like at first level it's going to be a +1, and then the proficiency die that you have for your rank, which in this case would be a D4. A full plate armor is 750 gold, 100 gold for common items, 400 gold for uncommon items, 4,000 gold for rare items. So to create a a set of full plate armor at 750 gold, it sits above uncommon but less the threshold for rare, so it would be considered a rare magic item. Uncommon is 10, uncommon is 15, rare is a DC 20, legendary is a DC 30. Your Bastion makes the die roll, D20 plus, in this instance, first rank, D20 +1 plus D4. I need to hit a 20 for a rare level magic item. I only have a D20 +1 plus a D4. So on average, I'm going to get a 16. So unless I get lucky, my first rank Bastion, my first rank smith, like my mom's and pop's smithy shop is probably going to fuck up making that full plate armor because they don't have the skills needed to be able to do that. But if they attempted the die roll, because they're only first rank, they can at best create 100 gold pieces worth material. So the 750 gold piece set of armor is going to take that mom and pop smithy shop 8 weeks to complete, as opposed to a third rank Bastion, a massive smithy operation has enough labor on hand that since the third rank equals 4,000 gold, I can create that suit of armor in 1 week. So if I farm it out to a third rank Bastion, give me a set of plate mail, they're going to get it done faster and probably more successfully than that mom and pop would in their own little, like with their little kiln. So that's how the scaling works. It's a very simple ability check system. In this instance, so every week that the mom and pop place tried to make that set of plate mail, they would have to roll on the table and see if they have a complication. So they'll succeed eventually if you can keep clearing the complications. So the first week, let's just do this real quick. The first week, mom and pop, they make their check. I rolled a 7. I rolled a 3. That's 4. That's an 11. So I failed my die roll. first week out of 8, I already ran into a complication. What's the complication? I don't know. Let's go to the crafting list and see what complications could be. So on a scale of 1 to 6, I rolled a 4. In this instance, the current hirelings lack the skill to produce the item. So the blacksmith is like right out the gate, yeah, I don't even know how to put this together. So now what do you need to do? You either need to spend resources of your bastion to hire a specialist that's a high enough rank to be able to accomplish this task, or the characters need to specifically go out and gather the information or do it themselves and lock themselves to that bastion for the next 8 weeks to build this with the smithy. So let's say they find a specialist. It's like, yeah, we hire away a disgruntled worker from the king. That's going to fulfill the recruitment process that we need. So week number 2 out of 8, we now make our bastion check again. I rolled a 9 and a 4. That's a 14. I still failed my die roll. So next die roll, I rolled a 1 this time. So this time, my smithy runs into the problem of the item is cursed. It has a detriment. So I've made a fatal flaw in the armor right off the cap. And if I want to fix that, I'm either going to have to purge it by spending extra effort to bang out the detriment, or I'm going to have to find a means as an adventure to go out and like bless this armor so it removes its curse. And it just keeps going like that. So like this is fucking ridiculous. To have a first level character try to make a set of full plate armor themselves when like a third level character only has 250 gold to their name. They can't even really afford full plate armor according to the player's handbook until like 5th level. It gets a little crazy. So you want to make sure that you're building stuff, like if you're going to go after that task, you want to go to a facility that is a high enough rank to actually that can actually conceptualize building that thing. So the cost of the item corresponds to the rank of the bastion. So as your characters gain levels, they can just automatically start making these things. So that's the idea behind it. If you had a second rank bastion try to make that full plate armor, it would take them 2 weeks because uncommon has a gold threshold of 400 gold, and a set of full plate armor is 750. So you would make 2 checks, first week, second week, and then you'll be done. There's potentially 2 complications. The DC is 20, and a second rank bastion rolls a D20 plus 2 plus D6. So it's possible. So let's just do that. I rolled a 7 and a 2 plus 2. That's only an 11, so I have a complication. And we go through that same process. But as long as I keep resolving the complications, it eventually just gets done. There you go. So, and you only have to make multiple rolls like that if you're trying to clock in above, like if you're trying to build things above your weight class. So like the third rank bastion that's attempting to make that full plate armor, it's within 4,000 gold. It can make it in a single week. And it only has to make 1 die roll. And if you hit that die roll, good, you're good to go. You get free die rolls. You get a number of orders that you can issue equal to your rank plus 1. So at first rank, you have 2 orders that you can issue. If you want more orders issued than those 2, you spend resources to get extra orders. You can spend a number. You can have a number of extra orders equal to your rank. So if I wanted to buy an extra action at first rank, I could have 3 actions total, which would be, it would eat up one of my resources. So resources, process, actually I can stay down here and we'll just flip over to here. So the resources that you have to have at least 1 resource to have a bastion. And that resource is like your smithy, for instance. And then I could continue to accumulate resources. Each resource has a gold value based on its rank. So at first rank, I could buy a second rank bastion, just whole cloth. Here it is. It would cost me 300 gold because of 3 resources, and then the minimum of second rank is to have 4 resources, and they're 1,000 each. So for 1,300 gold, I could have a 4 resource second rank bastion right away. But my characters wouldn't technically be able to afford that until 4th or 5th level because of how little gold they have allocated to them at their level. So second rank happens at 5th level. You could realistically acquire resources as treasure, or you can just convert your gold into resources. Like if I went to Waterdeep and wanted to buy a tavern, I could like say throw down 4,000 gold. And someone would be probably like, yeah, you can have my tavern. I'm out of here. 4,000 gold. I am fucking rich. And like they take off. They go to Baja or whatever. And they're done. So you now have a second rank Bastion in Waterdeep, the Sleepy Inn, for instance. There you go. It's a you spent 4,000 gold. It's a 6 resource a second rank Bastion with 6 resources, and you have 3 orders that you can spend your turn, which could be like recruiting people, obviously maintaining a lifestyle for yourself at the Bastion. That's 2 orders that you can issue, and then we're looking for a third. Maybe you add a library to the pub, so it's like a sit-in library. Now you can perform light research activities there. So those are the 3 actions you can take. You put in. Now we have to figure out. What I'm literally trying to do right now is figure out how large of a facility do you need at each rank to meet the needs of what that facility is capable of doing at that rank. Like at 5th rank, you can produce items that are this gold is the value of each resource, but and the amount of hirelings that you can have. And then the cost, like 200,000, like how large of a smithy would you need to be able to produce 200,000 gold worth of swords? Like that's going to have to be it needs to be bigger than a 5x5 space, right? So what is the balance point between saying you have to have this minimum size versus maximum size? Like how do we scale that? What's the pricing that's involved with that? That's the current mechanical challenge that we're dealing with. So we're looking at facility spaces. So having said all that, a cramped space is 4 squares. So let's go to here. And so we're just looking at how things look right now. So cramp is a 2x2 space. It doesn't have to be like that though. It's any 4 squares. So it could be shaped like this. Or like this. I'm going to use a thicker line. There. What's another shape? I mean, that's about it. That's about the configurations that we can produce with 4 squares. Maybe there's something else, but there you go. And then roomy is 16 squares. Cramp. Roomy. Meh. And I won't bother going through all the different arrays that we could possibly have. And then we have vast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, vast doesn't seem that much bigger than roomy to me. So it's 2, 4, 6. I'm seeing a pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 times 2 equals height. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. That's how they're coming up with these sizes. So 1, 2, 3. So if that's a 1st rank, 2nd rank, 3rd rank facility, right? Now we're looking at a 4th rank is going to be what? 1 is going to be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 5th rank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Burp. Burp. There you go. So, is that enough? Let's say these have to be minimum sizes for you to have a facility of this. For you to perform orders of a particular rank, you have to have a facility of at least this size. So, like, if I wanted to, let's see. One moment. That music's too loud. Better. Way too loud. Let's go with what 200,000 divided by 100 squares. That's 2,000 per square. I'm just doing some math. I'm just fucking around here a little bit. So that's 2,000 GP per square. 200K over 100 square. Just trying to build a quick, dirty resource system here. So this is 40K per 64 square. $625 GP per square. There might be a noteworthy pattern here that we can exploit, but I don't know until we do the math. So 100 GP by 4 square. That's 25 GP per square. Here it's 400 GP per 9 square, which should be, what, 40 gold per square? 400 divided by 9 equals, 45. 45 GP per square. And this is 4,000 GP per 16 square. So 1, 2, 3 divided by 16 equals 250 GP per square. So 2,625, 250, 45, and 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The question is, do I need to bother including language like this into the equation? Like, if I want to do 200,000 gold worth of swords. Is it? So the question then becomes, how much more efficient per 5 feet should a 5th rank Bastion be over a 1st rank Bastion? So let's look at what that ratio is real quick. 1 to 1. This is basically 1 to 2. So it's twice as efficient. Here it becomes a multiplier of 10. 6, 4, 24, 25. And then force multiplier here is like what, like 80? 2,000 divided by 25. Yeah, nice. Good job, Kearney. So could we instead have a force multiplier of 1, 5, 10, 50, 100? How does that feel? So that's 25 per square. 125 per square, 250 per square. Why am I brain farting that? 50 times. Why can't I think of that? 50 times 25. What's wrong with you, Kearney? 1250. You should have guessed that because of this number here. Your patterning's broken, Kearney. Per square. And then 2,500 gold per square. So we're at 2,500 per square. That'd be 250,000. So that'd be 250K per 100. 1250 times 80 equals 100K. Per 80. 250 times 36. No, wait, that's supposed to be 1250 times 64. 80K. Yeah, 80K. There you go. 80K. Per 64. 250 times 36. That's 9,000. 9K per 36. And then we have 4x4. 16, right? 125 times 16. That's 2,000. And then 100 for 4. So let's see, 100, 400, 100, 400, 4,000, 40,000, 200,000. So in every instance, this overclocks the amount of gold. If we go with these, if we go with this scale of space, these minimum sizes with this force multiplier of gold piece value per 5 foot square, like I can do 2,500 gold pieces per square in a 5th rank facility, but I have to have at least 100 squares worth of facility to have that level of efficiency. So if I have a smaller facility, I'm going to cap what the maximum rank my guild, my Bastion is capable of performing at. Is that a necessary level of depth for our Bastion. I think yeah, I think we can do that. I think we can say that if your facility isn't at least a 10 by 10 space, then you can't perform fifth rank tasks, or I can't issue a 5th rank craft or a 5th rank empower order unless you have a facility that's that large. So words, Salad, Kearney, words. That sets but you could have a larger facility if you want. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to have a higher rank of performance. It just means that you're capable. You have more space than you need for the level of task that you're performing. That's basically what that means. So that boils down and resolves everything that goes along with your Bastion. And the cost of maintaining that facility, let's put its, I guess we put its gold value equal to its size. So this is like for 5th rank, this is per facility. So like if I have a storehouse and I have a reliquary and I have an archive and I have a smithy, those are 4 things. Each one of those would require their own 100-foot block of facility space to be able to perform that task. So if I have my inn at the in Waterdeep, and it would have as a second rank inn, it would have to have, if I had 3 facilities, right? I have just maintaining the place, which requires its own minimum footprint. Just to be a location, and then I added that library we were talking about. So that's going to, if that's second rank as well, so I have to add that in. So second rank is, so it's going to be at minimum, it's obviously going to be larger than a 16 by 16 facility, but I can have a 4x4, a 4x4 space in my inn. That's reasonable. Like that's a small study, right? Or it's a roomy study according to this. So that actually makes sense that I could have that size inside of my facility. It could be larger than this, but the information might not be any better yet. Then if I have the minimum place is the 4x4, and I have the library, which is a 4x4. That makes sense. An inn in the city of Waterdeep is probably going to be like 6 or 7 times that size. So like I could potentially have, I could probably have up to a 3rd rank facility, like multiple 3rd rank facilities in that inn inside of its footprint without having to ask too many questions. But if I then wanted to expand into being like, this is going to start becoming a large, that's a really large footprint for a single facility for an inn on the streets inside of Waterdeep. That's getting very large. So it might be difficult. I might have, like, if I want to expand my facility in Waterdeep, excuse me for a second, I might actually have to like find a different piece of real estate someplace else, or buy up the surrounding buildings around the inn, tear them down, and then rebuild the whole inn so it can accommodate all of that space. I think this is a low enough resolution that makes sense. The one thing that I was sweating there for a second is, so the way that the maintain lifestyle die roll works is that it's supposed to, it washes out all of the paperwork needed when you ask the question, how does this place keep up and running? You make your ability check. So the D20, the maintain lifestyle D20 test, a 30 is aristocratic lifestyle, 25 is wealthy, 20 is comfortable, 15 is modest, 10 is poor, 5 is squalid, and anything less than a 5 is wretched. So when I make my roll for my inn, the inn runs, the business runs. All the facilities are paid for, taxes are taken care of. We keep the stores stocked. The linen's clean. We have the staff to process. The inn operates normally. But then we make the die roll, and the result of that D20 test determines how comfortably the people, the hirelings and your characters with that Bastion, how comfortably do they live. So we're talking a second rank Bastion. I'm going to roll a D20 plus a 6 and add +2. I rolled a 19 and a 6. A 19 and then a 2 on the D6, and then I get the +2. So I rolled a total of 23. I rolled a total of 23. So the lifestyle I can main right now for this Bastion for my characters, and I can maintain that for that's the die roll I have for this week. And that result is a 23. That's a comfortable lifestyle. Wealthy was 25. Aristocratic was 30. So we're comfortable. So business is good. Everything involving the Bastion has been resolved. My lifestyle is comfortable, so it's secure. There's no risk of robbery. I don't have any mutinies on hand. If I had rolled below a 10, I'm basically making death saving throws. If I roll below 10 3 times, before I'm able to roll above 10 3 times, my Bastion goes bankrupt. And all the hirelings quit. They're not making any money. It's not safe there. People are robbing the place. Things are disappearing. People are coming through. There's no security. This thing is shut down. You could at any time inject gold into the facility, so into your Bastion. And the amount of gold that is required per week is equal to the listed amount for the rank. So we saw up here the cost of a resource for a first rank Bastion. If I completely fail my where did it go? If I fail my maintain roll, I could just dump 100 gold into my first rank Bastion and everything's fine. It'll automatically reset to a result of 10 or better, which is poor. It's going. And then for a 5th rank organization, if I can't roll at least a 10 on a 5th rank Bastion, I have a D20 plus a D12 and a +5 to the roll. So the minimum is 7, potentially 37. I'm most likely never going to have to worry about rolling below a poor lifestyle 3 times in a row in a 5th rank Bastion. So it's too big to fail. Basically, it'd be a miracle if it actually bankrupted. But even if it did, it would only degrade 1 level. So if I somehow failed those three lifestyle rolls on a 5th rank Bastion, it wouldn't bankrupt. It would degrade down to 24 resources, and it would now be a 4th rank facility. It would now be a 4th rank Bastion instead. So there's a very steady decline from 5 to 1 to 0. So it could take years of just neglect for that Bastion to slowly grind its way down to bankruptcy. So again, it's just a single die roll, and that's per week. But if you decide to invest some of the, like if you maintain like tap, like in Magic the Gathering, you tap mana to maintain something, or like in my spell point system, while the mana is tapped, you maintain this effect. Same idea here. I could maintain a number of resources equal to the level of lifestyle that I've generated, and I can sustain that for however long the rank allows. 1 week, 1 season. It's 1 week, 1 week, 1 season, 1 season, 1 year. So a 5th rank Bastion can maintain a lifestyle without having to roll for up to a year if it's happy with the result that it got. It can re-roll any time that it wants during the course of that year, and once it hits the point that it likes, it can then lock in 5 resources to keep that lifestyle. So you can always try to push to get a better lifestyle. Yeah, there you go. Like a first rank Bastion can't invest more than 1 point because it's only first rank, and an aristocratic lifestyle requires 5 resources to maintain permanent or for a year, and or however long you could do it. So even if a first rank Bastion could hit an aristocratic lifestyle, they can't spend 5 points. So at best they can only maintain a poor lifestyle. and then at that they can only maintain it for a week. So it's not worth these little mom and pop places. They're constantly scraping by, trying to make ends meet. Doesn't that just fit the narrative? If you can get yourself to a second rank Bastion, you have a chance of being able to have better than a poor lifestyle, but you're still living week to week. Doing so week, season. But if you can hit there's poor, comfortable, poor. Modest is 15. Sorry, it's 10 is poor, modest is 15, comfortable is 20. That's a comfortable lifestyle is 3 points. So a second rank facility wouldn't be able to maintain a comfortable lifestyle, but it could maintain a modest lifestyle, but it's still stuck only doing so on a weekly basis. So it's still going to have to reroll every week until it can climb its way up to third rank. So maybe I should change that from a week to is a season long enough? No, because they can't have comfort until third. So it would be on a weekly basis, but they would be able to potentially hit comfortable or even a wealthy lifestyle occasionally, but they don't have enough resources to lock it in long term. They can lock in a modest lifestyle, but it only lasts a week. So there's no sense in investing the points in doing so. Only once you get the third rank are you able to sustain a lifestyle for a season. Maybe this should be maybe we should do like a week, a month, a season, year, week. Let's look at that. So day, week, month, season, year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bah. So those are the 5 degrees that we're looking at. It seems unreasonable to day to day is like trying to live day to day is like a little bit, maybe that's a little bit too on the nose. It should be at least a week. So the minimum ultimate structure that we could have here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that just seems that feels too harsh at the low end. So I don't like that. So instead, let's go with, we definitely want a week. Well, what if we did this? Week, month, season. I hate breaking the pattern, but the pattern is breaking. I think by the time you have a second ranked Bastion, like a second ranked business that's worth thousands of gold per resource, I think being able to stabilize your lifestyle on a monthly basis makes sense. At fourth rank, you can hit wealthy. You can hit a wealthy lifestyle, and then it's aristocratic. So how about perpetual? Once a fifth ranked Bastion hits a level of wealth that it likes, it can sustain it permanently. That feels fair. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's our maintain action. Maintain lifestyle. Duration of lifestyle. Rank. Duration. Let's see. Resources. So the D20 test equals set your lifestyle. Zero. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Lifestyle. Wretched. Squalid. Poor. Modest. Comfortable. Wealthy. Aristocratic. Let's see. And then maintain, and then resources. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set your lifestyle. Spend resources to sustain the lifestyle. Rank of Bastion determines length of duration of sustaining lifestyle. So I could spend a 5th rank facility, a 5th rank Bastion could spend 1 point, if I can hit at least a 10, my Bastion at 5th rank could spend 1 resource to sustain a poor lifestyle perpetually. As long as I have that point, as long as I keep that resource tapped for use in lifestyle, I will always have at least a poor lifestyle. I'll never go out of business. If I roll above that, if I rolled a comfortable lifestyle with a 20, incredibly easy. That's literally like a die roll of 10 and 5, and 10 and 6. For if you roll a 10 and a 5 on your dice, and then you get your +5 bonus for your rank, you're going to hit a d20. So it's literally average result for a 5th rank Bastion is a comfortable lifestyle. If you want to sustain that lifestyle perpetually, it'll cost you 3 of the 25 points that you have to just lock that in as that's my lifestyle now. I could push it up to 5 if I wanted to. I could always back it down. I had 5 points in aristocratic lifestyle. Maybe I want to drop that down a point or 2 to only maintain a wealthy or a comfortable lifestyle. But you do this for every Bastion that you have. You have your Bastion, then you can franchise your Bastion by spending more resources to open up another facility, another location to franchise. Or create a new settlement that also requires resources to expend to oversee the operations of that settlement. So it's inside of your Bastion. You're seeding multiple settlements and multiple Bastions out of your shell corporation, and the shell corporation spends all of its resources on maintaining a lifestyle and investing in additional settlements and different facilities at different locations. So it itself doesn't actually have. It's just a smoky back room where sinister people meet and decide the fate of reality, and then they perpetuate all of those machinations through the different franchises and settlements that they have control over, which we detail further down below. So yeah, that's our maintain role. So let's go down here, because we've been playing with a couple of different ideas. Where are we at? We want to be up here. This is all specific actions, so we're kind of revising how actions work by simplifying everything into just single tasks. So it's just, if you have the ability to issue 6 orders, here's all the orders that here's what those orders are broken down. So we just resolved Bastion Lifestyle, which is the maintain action. Bam, there you go. What's this, 16? Perfect. And this is a 14? Perfect. Here's all the stuff. Okay, so I think that minimum size works. So let's see. Okay, so it is ooh. Let's see. Let's say Bastion Lifestyle equals maintain. Maintain equals a D20 test or spend gold. And then resources, gold per week. Yeah, that feels right. You're not going to accumulate 1 million gold to maintain a lifestyle for your aristocratic bastion, your 5th rank bastion with potentially thousands of people in it. If you only want to maintain a lifestyle for like the 6 of you in your party, and you know that's 10 gold pieces per day, then just use the listed value. But this is just a default, a generic gold value per week for your bastion to maintain this facility, to maintain this lifestyle. So I guess hold on. No, that doesn't feel right. This isn't taking into account the size of the facility, which is something we're going to have to, if we can figure out the gold piece value based on rank and size, then we can figure out an ability check system to resolve military actions of one bastion against another as simple ability checks without having to worry about diving deep into a full mass combat 5e action economy system, which we already have in the Spelljammer book that we published. But I don't have to re-explain the entire thing here because I can just break it down as a single die roll. So, hey, how you doing, Steve? So I don't like this gold value per week. I like the we have a gold value per week set for the resources, and so if we go back, we're already up here. If we're looking here, we're looking at the value per resource, and you have to have at least one resource to have a first rank facility. You have to have at least 4 resources to have a second rank. I'm thinking, because this is the amount of hirelings that you can have. And the goal is to not worry about individual gold piece values. The goal is to just to let the maintain lifestyle test, the D20 test, resolve all of the math involved with running your facility. But if you want to micromanage coin, we should have a means of doing so. But obviously the maintain ability check works great for your facility. We just spent the last 20 minutes walking through that, so that works really well. But if we want to break down a cost, there's the size of the facility, like this 1 million gold value to be able to to be worth effectively 1 resource for a 5th rank facility is this, or Bastion is assuming that you have like 10,000 or more hirelings as part of your sprawling Bastion facilities. It's just inferred. You don't have to have that many. It could just be 10 guys that are just godlike sages that just happen to run the largest information network in the world. Like those could be 17th level priests and archmages and warlocks that just happen to have a lot of eldritch firepower available to find answers. So you could have it a minimum of that size. But so these hirelings is like, that's the maximum number of hirelings you can have. Like at 5th rank, there is no maximum. It's effectively unlimited, the number of people you can have. But like if you have an organization, if your Bastion is starting to house more than 10,000 people, it's not 4th rank anymore. It's elevating. So the amount of resources you should have should reflect that, and the relative value of each resource reflects that as well. But the goal is to, by the time you get to 9th level, the amount of gold that your characters are dealing with becomes absurd. And the amount of gold required to get a resource, like, because you can buy resources with gold, but when you have a 3rd rank Bastion, it takes 10,000 gold per resource because the Bastion is that vast in capabilities and manpower. So at some point, getting gold for your adventures becomes stupid. Instead, you get resources for your adventures as your payment or your reward. Like you take over this fortress at 10th level, and it's now your fortress, and the surrounding 20 miles of terrain around it is under your control now. That's worth like maybe 15 resources as a 3rd rank fortress. So now you just picked up a 3rd rank facility, a 3rd rank Bastion in this new remote area that you can fold into your the assets or the settlements that your adventuring team controls. So you can have multiple Bastions, or you can have a shell corporation that all of the resources in that are spent on governing other settlements, which we've talked about below. So I'm trying to think about like what would be the absolute minimum gold value to be able to maintain these things. And we know that a Bastion is stable at the poor lifestyle, and a poor lifestyle is basically 1 gold piece. I want to say it's like, hold on, we have an answer for this. Let's go to the equipment section. 2024, we go to services. Lifestyle expenses. At each week or month, your choice. 1 silver piece per day, 2 silver pieces per day. So per week, that would be roughly one gold piece per week for a poor lifestyle. And we can, 1st rank, you can sustain up to 10 hirelings before your guild starts to become, or your Bastion becomes too big to really be considered 1st rank. If it's 1 gold piece per day per hireling per week, then this 100 gold piece value for a single resource with 10 people, that becomes 10 weeks. That means this cost is per season. So if you pump gold into your Bastion, you cover expenses for a season. So that's our answer. This is a hot mess right now. There's stuff all over the place, different ideas that we're juggling around. But eventually the best ones, so far this specific orders, this structure seems to be the most efficient. So we now have gold per season. There. We just resolved it. That is to blip. Let's put an asterisk next to that. blip to maintain a poor lifestyle. Multiply for higher ranks, for higher rank, for higher lifestyles. So it's for a hold on, my brain broke. Yeah, to maintain a poor lifestyle. Right. Okay. And so yeah. So that's a poor lifestyle. So it's for the aristocrat. This is a misnomer. This should actually be. Yeah. This isn't the proper place to list this. Duration, rank of bastions. Sorry, thinking things through. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rank of Bastion determines duration of sustaining lifestyle. Duration of lifestyle. Here it is. Gold per season. This is where this should be. Rank 1, it's 100 gold per season. Yeah, this is where this should be at. And then it's 1,000, and then it's 10K for third rank, and 100K, and then 1 million. And that gets the asterisk. And this is blurp, blurp to maintain multiplied for higher lifestyles. So it'd be multiplied cost, first rank, duration, gold per season. If I were to make this aristocratic, it's supposed to be, an aristocratic lifestyle is supposed to be 10 times the value of a poor lifestyle. But with this tracking, it's only 5 times higher. Wait for it. Modest is 1 gold piece per day. 10 per day. It's 1,000 per season. Yeah, that also jives. 1,000 per season. Gold pieces per day, 1,000 per season, 2,000 per season, 4,000 per season, 10,000 per season. Per person. No, for up to 10 people. Ten times. Maybe we can we do it that way? So if it's once, ten times, we have 1 time, and we can have 2 times. We can have 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that's breaking. 5 times, 10 times. One, two, then 3, then 2, then 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. I guess that works. Take your time with timer. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock? Okay, I still have an hour. Let's see. Resources. Bastion rank. Yeah, minimum gold per season. Okay, and I don't think we don't need to worry about maintaining a higher lifestyle than that. This is, you would only pump gold into it if you didn't hit your at least a poor lifestyle anyway. So that would be the minimum amount that you would need if you were going to inject cash. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, I think I've mathed this out enough that I don't need to worry about it. We were doing the mental exploration to see what was needed, what was feasible, and it feels like it's not necessary. We can skip it. If you shouldn't have to be worrying about individual gold piece expenditure unless you're working at an individual level anyway. If you're working at a Bastion level with multiple hirelings, you would be making the lifestyle die roll anyway. That's the that's the gamification of the narrative. You only deal about individual gold value when you're dealing with your own character's personal entourage, that lifestyle that they're maintaining. Maintain Bastion lifestyle. Individual characters can purchase lifestyle per day as listed in PHB to maintain a lifestyle for the hirelings of the Bastion and to keep the facilities in good repair requires a maintain lifestyle, maintain D20 test. Lifestyle, D20 test. Bump. Rank of Bastion determines duration of sustained lifestyle. Duration, gold per season. And then maintaining lifestyle, spend resources to sustain the lifestyle. The duration of lifestyle. Rank of Bastion determines duration of sustained lifestyle. There. Instead, if the Bastion roll is less than 10, use, death saves, lifestyle equals death saves. If you roll below 10 3 times before you roll above 10 3 times, your Bastion loses enough resources to become a lower to become loses the minimum resources required to drop in rank. If this is a first rank Bastion, if it's already first rank, the Bastion bankrupts. Any lifestyle roll below 10 can instead spend the listed gold value for the rank lasting 1 season. You can spend the listed gold value to maintain a poor lifestyle for 1 season without rolling again. Period. There. Burp, burp. And then we'll put in the asterisk. There. That covers maintain. There it is. Specific order, maintain. Let's go up here. Here are the general orders. Bastion dice, how Bastion dice work. And then we have item creation. Manufacturing is just folding into the expense of maintaining a location. Craft and harvest, create non-magical items. Let's see. And power is create magical items. Mass production, you can create multiple consumable and non-magical items by combining totals. Let's take this to mass production up inside craft. Let's recalibrate these maths. Week, day, week, month. Day, week, month, season, year. Week. Zero, as in any character, like literally any character can create, can craft stuff at 10 gold pieces per day. A first rank is more efficient. 100 gold pieces, only a little bit though, 100 gold pieces per week as opposed to 10 per day. And this would be this would also be 400 per week. Okay, so this is strictly mass production that we're looking at. Craft, create non-magic items. I'm trying to look at compounding power of manpower and rank. Manpower as rank, multiplying the amount of production per day, which is what we were talking about earlier. On the individual level, you're very limited, 10 gold pieces per day. That's how you scale it. If we're looking at the Bastion level, then we're talking about weeks, months, seasons, years. But maybe it should be... I'm trying to not make it complicated, but I feel like I need to peel this apart. Let's see, craft, empower, harvest, right. So this craft, harvest, empower, and then maintain. This is all in the right. This is all in the right order. C, E. Oh my God, this is perfect. Okay, so C then E. Those come first. And then we have harvest. So let's take these specific orders. Let's see. Craft. Week, season. Oh yeah, I'm grind. Okay, so this feels like it should be in mass production. You can't mass produce empowered stuff. They have to be built individually. Empower. Let's see. Empowering magic items cannot be mass produced. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on my brain. Okay, so the scale of task, that makes sense. We have the magic items, stuff that we can build. So consumables. This makes sense. Week. Day, week, season. Could it be day, week, month? Day, week, month, season, year. It shouldn't take a year to make a legendary consumable item, but it shouldn't take day, week, month, season, year. Yeah, see, that's too aggressive. But it shouldn't. Let's see. And if that's a year, it shouldn't be multiple years to make a legendary item. That feels wrong. So that'd be too aggressive. But if I go day, week, month, season, year, like a legendary item to create a permanent legendary magic item in 1 year, that feels reasonable. All things considered. That would put this at a season. That would put this at a month. This would put this at a week. But that would mean that a first rank magic item could be created in 1 day, which is the same duration of making a temporary item as per the PHB already. That's too fast. So I'm having an extreme, like in the middle, it feels like it makes sense, but it's the extremes that I'm having a problem with. So that's why I'm looking at the week, season, year. That doesn't feel right. So week, maybe it's week. Maybe that's what it should be. Week, month, season, year. Because you have to be second ranked to be able to create uncommon magic items. There is a DC associated, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But on top of that, there's also spell power that goes along with empower. You're not just making a non-magical item. You actually have to have like the mana or the spells available in your spell book or whatever to be able to empower the magic items with the stuff that you need. So that means that you have to have a certain level of magic that you can wield, which means you have to be a certain level, which corresponds with the rank. So if you want to do 8th, 9th level stuff, dumping into a legendary magic item, you have to be a 5th rank facility to have the people on hand that can wield that much raw power. So we gatekeep magic item creation behind the rank of the Bastion, but we don't do that with crafting. Crafting doesn't have a gatekeep if you're, the complication could be that you don't have a high enough rank foreman that's overseeing, or a lead overseeing the operation. So you have to go, like it showed, have to hire somebody outside your facility to get that particular person. But there's nothing that says like a first rank facility, a first rank Bastion could eventually make a 40,000 gold airship. It's just going to take you 400 weeks to do it, because you don't have a large enough facility to do that. While a first rank Bastion simply cannot produce an uncommon or greater magic item, because they don't have a high enough rank magic user to provide that option. So once you get to second rank, there's a level of skill. There's the DC. We have those resolved with the Bastion. The DC checks we already have associated with it. We already have a gold piece value that's associated with making the magic items, and we're looking at a duration. These durations make sense for the items in question. Week, and then very rare can be a month. This feels good. You can also have a guild. Guild reduces production time by half. Maintaining a ranked guild facility, guild hall facility, reduces production time by half. So then how do we divide up the guild hall? There's crafting, and then there's empowering. There's crafting. So would the guild hall be with that facility? So that makes sense. If you have a guild, so you have the facility. You need the facility to make the thing. If you double down on the resources invested to have guild workers in that facility, you reduce the time by half. Does that make sense? A year becomes 2 seasons. 1 season becomes 50 days, basically 2 months. 1 month becomes 2 weeks. 1 week becomes like basically 3 days. Round up. Maintaining a ranked guild hall reduces production time by half. Rounded up. Does Artificer stack with Guild Hall? Let's ask. I'm just going to oracle that one right here real quick. 6 on 5 says no. So, an Artificer or a guild. There you go. Maintaining a ranked Guild Hall facility or Artificer involved reduces production time by half. There you go. So that's the super special perk that an Artificer gets with the Bastion system. And we can also have a feat that your character can be like a production specialist or Artificer involved or feat. Yeah, or feat reduces time. Okay, great. So that resolves that. Rounded up, minimum 1. Minimum 1 day. So being more productive with the potion, like consumables, for instance, you're not going to get better than a day, but you could get it down, like a rare, down to 3 days, 3 or 4 days, 4 days, because you round up. 1 month divided by 2, that's 2 weeks. 1 season divided by 2, that's 50 days. So there you go. Or 7 weeks, as it were. Empowering magic items cannot be mass produced. I think that covers everything we have to worry about. I think that takes care of Empower. I think we're covered with crafting. So I think we've resolved that. Specific orders, we need to bump up the size on this. 20. Bastions, orders. Let's just drop it down into orders. Thank you, Tally Timer. Yeah, let's just grab this chunk here. Orders, issuing orders. Okay, that's a brief summary of what the orders are. Here's issuing orders. How do you do it? Then we have item creation. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's grab all that. Let's grab all of this and drop it down into orders specifically. Bastions, orders. Orders are listed, are issued to the hirelings of Bastions to carry out and divided into 7 categories. So, quick summary. Power, harvest, maintain, recruit, research, trade, good. So issuing orders using proficiency. So let's up this to a 14 so it stands out a bit more. We're just doing some organization here. Bastion dice, item creation. Craft, empower. There. Empower, good. And then we have all the facilities and creation orders. Let's grab all of that. Let's take this down to the facilities. There's our list. Magic item list, empower, mass production, resolved. Empower, now we go down to harvest. This is poorly organized right now. We'll resolve that. Harvest. Oh wait, let's just go down. Let's see. I think we already have all the stuff that we need for harvesting down here. DC value. Oh yeah, and we have all these facilities and stuff. That's so fun. garden, meditation chamber. No, that's not right. Harvest. This is what we're looking. Yeah. Maybe that should be. Harvest. There we go. Let's pluck that and go up here to harvest. Burp. There we go. Bold and 14. Your Bastion gathers materials needed to craft and empower items needed to craft items from the environment. Gathers materials needed to craft items from the environment. Crafting and empowering requires one or more of the materials. Technically, empowering doesn't. Empowering requires a finished item, so that's a misnomer. Crafting requires one or more raw materials to issue the order. Try materials. To harvest material, you must have a settlement at a location that can provide one or more types of materials. That can provide. To harvest material, you must have a settlement. Your Bastion gathers materials needed to craft items. From the environment to maintain a lifestyle and craft items. Period. Crafting. There are 3 types of materials that can be harvested: plants and animals, plants, minerals. To harvest material, you must have a settlement at a location. You must have a settlement that can provide. You must have a settlement with access to the one or more materials. Each type of material requires a separate harvest order. Each type of material harvested requires a separate order. Week, month, week, month, season. If the check succeeds, your Bastion has the material available to issue the craft order immediately. If the check fails, the order is delayed by the listed duration due to a complication that will delay harvesting for due to a complication. To harvest material, you must have a settlement with access to one or more materials. Each type of material harvested requires a separate order. Once the settlement is established, if checked, you can use facilities to have a storehouse that sustains a rank of material as described below, which we describe further below. Harvest. Harvest plus material plus a settlement equals a D20 test. Your Bastion gathers materials from the environment to maintain a lifestyle and craft items. There's 3 types of material that can be harvested: animals, minerals, and plants. To harvest material, you must have a settlement with access to 1 or more materials. Any number of materials. The specific materials can vary. The specific material, the specifics. The type is a general category. Any specific material can vary as agreed between players and DM. It's actually the DM's choice. So any specific material can be available as DM what's the language that we use these days? Is it we will as determined by the DM. To harvest material, you must have a settlement with access to 1 or more materials. The material in general. Each type of material harvested requires a separate order. Once a settlement is established, whenever a settlement is established, so you're making a crafting check. You make the crafting check. The complication arises that you don't have the materials that you need. You make the die roll to see if the material is available. If the die roll fails, it creates complication. The harvest material. Let's see, crafting, creating non-material items. If the needed material is already at the Bastion, no, that's not a necessary statement. Okay. So I'm trying to suss out if we have harvesting is a die roll that occurs at a settlement. If you are maintaining a storehouse with materials that you need to craft stuff, then if you get if the complication you have for crafting is I lack the material needed. If you have a storehouse with a right type of material, then you ignore that result and you automatically succeed. If you fail the die roll, that triggers the harvest check. And if you have a facility with the correct material, you then perform the harvest check to get that stuff. If you don't have a facility that you can harvest from, then you have to find it somewhere. So let's see. Are we increasing the that feels like we're requiring 2 die rolls on 1. We maintain the facility with resources so that we don't have to make the die roll. And you maintain, you retain material. We had, would it be? Let's go down to the storehouse. We're jumping around a little bit. It's going to be like that. So let's go down to the storehouse, which is one of the facilities that we've established. So we're not requiring resources to make D20 tests. we're only requiring 1 point be spent to add an additional order, but you're limited in the number of additional orders you can issue to the rank of your Bastion. So hard cap 5 costs 5 extra points for 5 extra actions, which is a lot. So we're accumulating points, but we don't have to spend them on a lot of stuff. So a 5th rank facility, a 5th rank Bastion can have up to 5 ranks worth of, it has 25 resources to spend, but we don't have a lot of things. So far, we only have 5 points to spend those resources on. So if we're looking at the storehouse, rarity, common, gold value, 10, DC's 10, duration, also facilities can sustain materials for crafting, empowering, and harvesting. The time required is dependent on the cost of the item. So a storehouse is each material requires a separate separate resources to store: animal, mineral, plant. Rank of item creation. Must have equal rank stored to ignore material complications. So for you to automatically have the materials, like if you want to make full plate armor, 3rd rank task requires minerals. So you would have to, if you want to skip the complication of not having the right materials available, you have to maintain a storehouse with 3 resources worth of minerals. So you could spend up to 15. You could spend up to 15 points in your storehouse to have all the materials you could possibly ever need to craft anything that you would ever want, and be able to skip the complication of resources. Does that require 3 separate? So that would require, each material requires separate resources, separate facility, and resources to store. So if we're looking at that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 facility size location that we were playing with earlier, if I want to make full plate, full plate armor, 3rd rank task, mineral requires minerals, and for me to be able to have a facility that can sustain that amount of material, I have to have a 3rd rank facility, which is vast, which requires a 36 by 36 space storehouse to have that sort of material available. I know it's just a plate of armor, which could just require a 40-pound block of iron to carve up, but this is just, there you go. This is on top of, because when you're crafting a set of full plate armor for your character is commissioning resources, is commissioning that order. It's not manufacturing. It's not sustaining the lifestyle. To sustain that 3rd rank lifestyle, or that 3rd rank for your Bastion overall, this is the type of space that your storehouse needs to have to be able to move stuff in and out of your facility. So that's the size that we work with. So if you want to have that kind of storage space, that's the size of a warehouse that you're going to need. 5th rank would even be bigger. And this would be for mineral, and then another one of these for plant, and then another one of these for animals, minimum. You guys can decide. Your DM could decide that it would require even larger facilities, but this is the absolute minimum just to store the amount of materials needed to be able to make that task perform. And this is just always full, like on a seasonal basis or weekly basis, it's restocked. So like if you're trying to make a 250-foot hammerhead shark, hammerhead ship, which is 40,000 gold in value, that's a 4th rank task. So that would require a 4th rank facility to have enough lumber, iron, sail material, and it would probably require at least maybe not animal, but it would require mineral and plant materials. So for me to make a hammerhead ship, 40,000 gold, 4th rank task, it would require 2 warehouses, one for mineral materials and then another warehouse for plant materials like wood, fabric, stuff like that. And we're down to our last 20 minutes. So I think we've established facility sizes. So let's go back up to our facilities. Facility items and creation orders, facilities. Facilities require a minimum space to function determined by rank. Rank space. Squares. Let's go with that. Squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 16. 36. 64. 100. There you go. Each facility requires a minimum space to function determined by rank. If a facility isn't large enough, it can't provide the rank of order issued is limited by the size. If you want to issue an order, a 3rd rank craft order, it must be done at a crafting facility at least 36 squares in size. C, sustained facilities. Let's see. Facilities, let's see. I want to create a caveat. We want to go with maintain perk. We could expend additional points. So you spend the amount of points, and then we could spend more points to reduce the footprint. So we could maintain perk. Let's see. How about efficient space? By how about how would we word that? Would it be so the idea is I could go like by spend, so I have to spend 5 ranks to have a 5th rank facility, and it's assumed that's going to require that 100 squares of space. However, I could make it more efficient, like we were talking about earlier before. We don't need to have 10,000 people in our research facility for us to be able to perform 5th rank research. We could just have a handful of guys that are just amazing with what they do. So how do we? So with that narrative, we would scale down the amount of the size of the facility to be able to accommodate them. So how do we determine that? I could do like it's 5 resources to maintain the library, the research library to perform research in, and that's going to require 100 squares. If I spent 1 additional resource, could I step it down to 4? So does that mean I could spend 1, 2, 3, 4? Could I spend 4 additional points to scale down that library to only be a cramped space of a 10 by 10 space? Is that unrealistic? Is that proper pacing? I like the idea of spending points to reduce the footprint, but how much should we be able to reduce it by? Like, should it only be 1 point to reduce it from a 5th to a 4th? Like, obviously, 1st is going to be the minimum space requires. You have to have at least that much space to do this thing. So if I spend, like, it wouldn't be realistic to spend more than 1 point to drop roomy down to cramped. Is it realistic to spend 1 point to reduce vast down to roomy? One point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. Reduce the footprint. 5 points is 5. Okay, so spending 5 points to reduce the footprint from 100 to 64. That feels like it's too much. It could be 1 point. 1 point makes sense here. 1 point makes sense here. So yeah, spending 1 point to reduce the size by one rank. That feels fair. But how far do we take it? Do we only take it by 1 degree? Can we take it by 2 degrees? Could we realistically have a 5th rank research library operate in a cramped space? That feels like there's not enough book information there. Regardless of how good the books are, there just isn't enough there for you to be able to research anything. And I don't want to get into specific topics. I want to avoid that level. I want to avoid that level of granularity. So, but it feels realistic that we could take a 5th rank facility and pack it into a vast space, into the 36 square space. That feels reasonable. So that'd be 1 step, and then what? 2 steps, and this would be 1 step, and 1 point. 1 point always feels good, reducing it by 1 size. So at least maintain perk, efficient size, efficient space. You can reduce the size of a facility by 1 rank, minimum 4 squares. You can use a resource to reduce. We're just going to call it using resources. So you can use a resource to reduce the size of a facility by 1 rank, minimum 4 squares. So that's like a kicker cost, right? We had kickers in the martial power system, so this is kind of a kicker of that. But we're stacking effects. So, and you can't do your Bastion can't do everything. You have to have the facilities to do it. The DMG limits you to 1 facility plus 1 per like 2, it's 2, 3, 5, 7, I think, and then you cap out at 7. So there you go. Or is it 2, 3, 4, 5? I think that's how it works. So efficient space you can use, but we can allow you to do as many. You don't have. We had the idea of being proficient in specific tasks, in specific orders to be able to use them, but I want to throw that away. You can just use any orders, but you have to have the facilities to be able to issue that order. So each facility is going to be devoted to a different order. So that's probably the next thing that we're going to need to do. This thing's a hot mess right now, but again, you can read through it and poke around with it, but we're playing with different ideas, different ways of gamifying these ideas, and whichever one is easiest, most universally applicable, and most fun, those are the 3 criteria we have to be able to implement it. Because it's just ability checks, we need to make it just a single ability check resolves a shitload of activity. Because with the Bastion system as is written in the DMG, it doesn't require any ability checks. It just happens. So we're taking it from the gear of social interaction and we're shifting it into the exploration/ability check gear of gameplay. So we need to keep it simple. If it gets too complicated, then it becomes basically like combat level of focus, of detail. And that's a level of granularity I do not want for the Bastion system. It needs to stay at the ability check level or easier. So this additional perk here of maintaining the facility. So I guess, perk isn't right, feat isn't right. There's a word. There's going to be a word that describes these feat, caveat, exception, option, aura, effect sort of things that we can do with these bastions that cost points. I don't know what that word is yet, so right now we're using perk. Facilities are locations, perks are modifications. That's not the right word. Investments, specializations, maybe there's specialties. That doesn't quite fit either. But you can use a resource to reduce the footprint. There you go. So that now is can we at most reduce it by 1? Can we reduce it by 2? 3 points to reduce by 2. So if I spent 3 points, instead of reducing it by 1, I could spend 3 points and reduce it by 2. And that would cap the vast to being reduced to cramped by spending 3 points to have the facility and then 3 more points to reduce it down to a cramped space. That'll eat up points quickly so you can get really good, really fast in a really small space with very few things. I think I'm okay with that. You can use 1 resource. You can use 2 resource. You can use 3 resources to reduce the size of a facility by 2 ranks. Minimum 4 squares. There. Okay, I think that resolves that. And now we have the different orders that can be issued to different facilities. So next thing we need to do is we need to summarize. I think what we need to do is gather up and summarize what each facility, the 29 facilities, are currently allocated to be capable of doing, what actions they can perform. I think that's where we're at. And how much time do we have? It's noon. Okay, so we're out of time for today. I think I've got D&D on Monday lunch this week, so I don't think I might be here on Wednesday. I still have to check my calendar. So we'll be here Monday morning to work on Eberron. Tuesday morning we'll be back on Eberron. Tuesday lunchtime we'll be working on Bastion some more. We're going on at lunch. We're going to break down the facility, each of the 29 facilities, and with what we have so far, look at list what each facility can do, so we can start seeing the disparages between things that maybe are overworked, we need to trim away from, and what things are neglected that need to add things in. So like the arcane study, like we know we can craft and empower things at the arcane study now. So those are two orders that we know we can issue through the arcane study. And how much stuff that is, it doesn't matter. It's just we know we can do those things. The archive, we know that we can I believe we can empower through the archive. I don't know. I don't think we can craft, but we can also research in the archive. So like those are two orders that we know that the archive can perform. So we're going to keep going. That's what we'll do on Tuesday. We're going to break down all of the orders because we already have all the items, the entire list of all items from the Player's Handbook and the DMG broken down by materials used and which facilities are needed to be able to do that. So if you want to make tents and you don't have a workshop, or if you have a workshop and you don't have plant materials, you could run into complications of making a tent. So you would then maybe need to trade to get access to trade, or if you just need one tent, you just send your characters out to get a tent. But if you want to mass produce tents for like an army or something like that, then you need to have a workshop and a plant setup to be able to provide that. But that's a level of granularity that you probably do not need to worry about normally. So although we provided everything in the book, I don't think it's reasonable for you to expect your characters to make everything, but they certainly could if they wanted to. So cheers. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to check out for now. When we come back, we're going to simplify. We're going to, again, assess what orders are assigned to each facilities, and we're going to start covering gaps. So, all right. Thanks all for checking this stuff out, guys. We're back on Monday with artwork. Monday night, hopefully, we're going to be doing playtesting for the Martial Powers system in our Mega Dungeon. We're still 3rd level, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys then. Cheers.